what are your experiences at EuRoC and your plans for future?
The experience at EuRoC, first of all, were really great. I think we had a lot of fun. I think that was for me, it was one of the really important parts, that the team has fun at the competition, so that everybody enjoyed it. Although we haven't had much sleep and food, to put it like this, but yeah, it just made me really happy to see everyone having fun despite these odds, because everyone saw it as an adventure, I guess. So yeah, this was really cool to see, and my best experience at EuRoC, I think, was that all the other teams, student teams, were really open about their developments, and you could talk to them really openly about Rocketry, and the exchange was really great. I enjoyed it, talking to the other teams. We definitely learned a lot from the other teams, maybe taking some simpler steps in some systems, and but we could also see that some of our systems were also really thought through. So you could, verify your development and compare yourself a little. But to be honest, I think it didn't, most of the time, or I think all of the time, it didn't really feel like a competition. For me, it was just like being able to launch our system, present our system, but it never felt like we have to really compete against each other. I think it was a good shared effort in this sense. And goals for next year. So our plans are to get the operational part of launching a rocket more efficient, to be able to have an earlier launch window, so that it won't get as tight as this year again, because we were at the last moment where we were able to launch. Actually, I think they even extended the launch window for us on Sunday. So we try to be ready much sooner this time. Improve our operational aspects, get more efficient in that sense, meaning we want to practice more here at campus. Not that we didn't practice, but we saw that time is running really, really tight at competition, and you need to deal with lots of unforeseen environments. For example, the space where we wanted to build up our launchway didn't look as we expected, so we had to rearrange some stuff, and this all costs time that you would need in other places. So this is something we can improve on. And one of the most important learnings we got from our system itself, so from the rocket, is that we want to get it more robust to those environmental conditions. Because let's face it, out on the military side, it was dirty. It rained a lot, and we saw some issues with that. Although the system performed quite good, even though it rained the whole day. But there's definitely room for improvement. And now that we know what awaits us at the competition, we can adapt easier to these environmental conditions. And as a last part, as I already pointed out in the beginning, we want to really push those industry standards. Get into more high-tech stuff. We already developed our own cryogenic valves. We want to do so in the future as well. Our philosophy is always, if we can't find a cheaper supplier for something like that, we will build it our own. So this worked out for the valve, for example, because cryogenic valves are extremely expensive, and building it was way cheaper. So we went down this road. That's how I experienced EuRoC.
Biggest challenges you faced while preparing for EuRoC?
So definitely the biggest challenge was integration and testing with the integrated system. We had a lot of delays in the development for the engine and for fluid system and structure and so on. So in the end, we didn't have much time left to test everything integrated. We didn't expect it to be that much of an issue as it was in the end. Because we had done our job regarding requirements and so on to make sure that every system is compatible. But then, we found a lot of issues during testing. Also, for example, we had issue with our propulsion system during the last test campaigns because our fluid system mass flow wasn't as expected. So the engine couldn't deliver the full thrust that we needed. And we had to do some last minute improvements and tweaks to make it work in the end. But this almost led to us not being able to achieve the thrust that we need. And we almost couldn't come to EuRoC with a rocket that could achieve like the required exit velocity from the launch rail. But fortunately, we made it work in the end, and we could still join and try to launch. But yeah, in the end, we then also faced again some issues that led to us not launching. But definitely those were the biggest problems we faced with integration and testing. And that's also the reason why we are now planning to invest a lot more time into that and switch earlier to testing, have backup plans if components are not finished in time. And right now it's looking really promising, but we will see in the summer when we get closer to the competition if this adds up in the end. We hope for the best this time.
Yeah, having mitigation plans if something goes wrong is I think also one of the most valuable lessons we learned. So now we are already planning into our timeline when we have decision dates. For example, if we are not able to build our own valve until end of March, we buy a COTS one, so an off-the-shelf version for that. So I think planning, organization, and the whole project management aspect has become really important after the competition, because there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong, and you should be able to cope with these. All in the face of not being unsafe in your operation, which also plays a really big part in our team in general, because we put a really high effort into safety standards, doing this by introducing safety protocols through procedures and so on. And as far as I know, we were also the one and only team that pressurized from a distance. So while our system was pressurized, basically every human was at least 800 meters away, which we would call no line of sight in this sense, because if something would have ruptured, no human damage would have been seen. So I think in this sense we try to while pushing the boundaries of getting better and getting to industry standards, we don't want to lose the sense for the safety of our own members, because in the end what counts is that we all get home well. And I think that's also a really great achievement of our team, and we are further promoting this in our team when new people come in and so on. So this is also we saw and verified in EuRoC, basically. Let's put it like this.
Like, safety is also a really high priority in the design of our system. So for example, of course, we have requirements for arming, for example, and usually it is required to have at least 2 steps involved in arming the rocket. And in most of our systems, we actually go above and beyond that, and we actually require 3 steps and 3 things to go wrong, 3 independent things, so that the rocket would be armed, even though we don't want it to be. And as far as I'm aware, we are also the only team who where the pyrotechnics are actually armed when the rocket leaves the launch pad. So the umbilical connector disconnects, and that is the event that is the last step in the arming chain that allows our pyrotechnics to fire. The recovery, obviously, not the igniter. That would be a non-starter. But just to again emphasize our focus on safety, it also translates into all areas of design and operations.
What are your goals for EuRoC 2024?
To win it, of course. No, I mean, I already touched on a lot of things regarding goals for EuRoC. So first goal would, of course, fly our system the first time. Of course, we also would love to win the whole competition prize, but I think, in my opinion, this is not always the most important thing that we can gain from the competition, because at least for me, it's more important that we stay true to our own project goals, and if the project goals don't meet the competition goals, then I don't care much about the prize in the end. Of course, we were extremely happy about winning the design award, and we are confident that we can come up with a system that is capable of winning this award again next year. And maybe by getting the rocket off the launch rail and getting those altitude points, we're not that far away from winning the whole competition. But we'll see about that. In the meantime, we are constantly improving our system and try to push our own and the rocket's boundaries. So this is, I think, the main goals we are aiming for in the next competition.